Yes, sir. Miami Heat news, boys. The Miami Heat rejected a James Harden trade in December. So, how do I know this, boys? Obviously, this news is heartbreaking for me. I've been a Heat fan since Dwayne Wade got drafted back in '03. So, this news really breaks my heart. Let me tell you guys how I know this news. So, Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald reported this week that the Miami Heat did in fact reject the James Harden trade in December. So I'm going to get into that right now, what the trade was, what it means for the Miami Heat. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure you like it. So what was the trade that the Miami Heat rejected? Well, first of all, Miami offered the Rockets a trade that the Rockets rejected. The trade that the Miami Heat offered them was the Heat offered a first round pick, 2 young players, Iguodala and Olenek for James Harden. Obviously, the 2 young players that they're talking about would have either been Tyler Hero and Precious Achua, Tyler Hero and Precious Achua, or Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. So the Rockets rejected that trade and they came back with a counter offer. So this is the offer that the Miami Heat rejected. This was the Rockets' final offer for a James Harden trade with the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat rejected it. So the trade that the Rockets offered was Tyler Hero, Precious Achua, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, some salary filler, 2 first-round picks, and 4 pick swaps for James Harden, boys. While I understand that sounds like a lot, we have to understand that James Harden is one of the best players in the league. We saw the Brooklyn Nets give up all that and more for James Harden, and now they're one of the best teams in the entire league, looking like finals favorites. So what does this news mean for the Miami Heat, boys? Well, it means several things. Anyways, the Heat rejected that offer and they pulled out of the James Harden trade on December 21st. Then, as we all know, James Harden got traded to the Nets in January. So the Heat, if they did get James Harden, they would have had a team with a big three of James Harden, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. This team would have been finals favorites, guys. There's no doubt about it. This team would have been finals favorites. They would have been first in the East, above teams like Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, and Milwaukee Bucks. They would have been first in the East. They would have been a dynasty for the next 3 years at least. As Jimmy Butler and James Harden are both only 31 years old, Bam Adebayo is 23 years old. They would have been a dynasty for the next 3 years, boys. They easily would have made the finals this year, and they would have gave the Lakers, the Jazz, or the Clippers a real run for their money in the finals. This is very disappointing news for me as a Heat fan. I would have loved to see James Harden and Jimmy together on the same team. The worst part about it is we don't know what these young players are going to become. I understand that the Rockets were asking for a lot. You can make that argument that the Rockets were asking for a lot from the Miami Heat, but we don't know what these young players are going to become. We're pretty much betting on the potential of Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Precious Achua over the proven talent of a guy like James Harden, who's going to go down as one of the best NBA scorers of all time, one of the best floor generals. If we had James Harden, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, we would have had Jimmy Butler, who would have been the alpha and the closer on that team. We would have had Bam Adebayo, who would have been the glue guy and the defensive anchor. We would have had James Harden, who would be the floor general and another closer for the team. When you have 2 wing perimeter players in James Harden and Jimmy Butler who can create their own offense in crunch time, that's exactly what you need in the finals. And a versatile defensive big like Bam Adebayo, who's expanding his range, we would have been a dynasty for the next 3 years at least, boys. And the thing about it is Jimmy Butler knew that we don't know what's going to happen with Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Achua. We don't know what they're going to become. How do I know this, boys? How do I know that Jimmy Butler knew this? Because Jimmy Butler okayed the trade. Jimmy Butler okayed the James Harden trade. The front office came to Jimmy and said, hey, we're thinking about trading for James Harden. We'd have to give up some of these things. What do you think about it? And Jimmy Butler okayed the trade. So what that says to me, boys, is that even Jimmy Butler says, I'm not sure what these young guys are going to become, but I know with James Harden, we have a chance at the finals. If the Heat got James Harden, they would have been the favorites for buyout candidates, just like the Nets are now favorites for buyout candidates. The same way we just saw Blake Griffin get bought out and we're seeing that the Nets are likely going to pick him up, that would have been the Miami Heat right now. Miami Heat would have got all the buyout candidates, guys like Blake Griffin and whoever else is going to get bought out over the next couple of weeks. They would love to go to Miami. Miami's one of the best NBA cities general, one of the best cities in America. The weather is great. They're not really on lockdown as much right now. Why wouldn't you want to go to Miami? This would have been the perfect move for the Heat to make. In my opinion, it was a mistake, boys. What are your thoughts on this? Put your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Heat should have traded for Harden, or do you think they made the right decision in turning down that trade? In my opinion, I think it was a mistake. I'm really sad about this to hear this news, but I'll get over it. It's whatever, boys. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I think the Heat would have been finals favorites. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have new NBA discussions every single week. Peace, boys.